know that you probably have the tools to improve your gut health in your kitchen? Spoiler alert, you don't need expensive supplements to support your microbiome. You need real food. Today, Gayle, Isabel, and I will break down the everyday foods that feed your gut microbiome the right way. Don't go anywhere. It's easy to start adding these foods without overcomplicating your life.
Say goodbye to chalky calcium chews. ProCare Health makes chews that are creamy, not gritty, and packed with food-based TrueCal for superior absorption. Now available in peaches and cream. And yes, it tastes as good as it sounds. Save 10% with code BSS10 at procarenow.com.
I'm bariatric dietitian Dr. Susan Mitchell. You're listening to the Bariatric Surgery Success podcast. I'm so glad you're here today. It matters where you get your nutrition information. Here's what you need to know now. Joining me today are your favorite expert bariatric dietitians, Isabel and Gayle. In their clinical practices, they have their fingers on the pulse of the most up-to-date nutrition information. These two stay up to date. They know what's going on when it comes to bariatric nutrition. Isabel Maples is a bariatric coordinator at UVA Health in Haymarket, Virginia. Gayle Smith is a bariatric dietitian at the Weight Loss and Bariatric Surgery Institute in Orlando, Florida. You can find both Isabel's and Gayle's contact information in the show notes. Hey, Isabel. Hey, Gayle.
Hey, Susan. How are you?
Yeah, great to see everyone.
I know. Glad to have you guys back on the podcast again. I really like all this new research that's going on with the gut microbiome. But first, before we get into it, let's just make sense of what it is. The gut microbiome is a collection of trillions of bacteria, viruses, and fungi that live in your digestive tract and mostly in your large intestine.
Yes, think of it like a busy city inside your gut. Some microbes are the good guys that help keep things running smoothly inside your gut, while the others are the bad guys, and they're the ones that can cause some trouble if they take over. With bariatric surgery or the GLP-1s, the importance of a good gut are critical because the surgery itself can help with and the GLP-1s can help with weight loss. And with weight loss, you have less inflammation from the obesity of being overweight. And we'll talk more about that as we go on.
Our gut bacteria can influence the secretion of hormones that are related to increase in appetite or suppressing appetite. It can even impact metabolism, and that, of course, affects weight management.
And when that gut microbiome is out of balance, meaning not enough good microbes, you're more likely to deal with problems like digestive issues, obesity, type 2 diabetes, even inflammation. So let's talk food, because this is where you have the most power. Different foods encourage different types of bacteria to grow. So I want you to think of it like gardening. You can grow flowers or you can grow weeds, depending on what you feed the soil. There are many top foods that your gut microbiome loves, and we've chosen some of our favorites today.
Yes, some of my favorites are the veggies, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and asparagus. Notice that all of these are high fiber foods, and that's that insoluble fiber. And this insoluble fiber acts like a food for the gut bacteria. When these bacteria ferment the fiber inside your stomachs, they produce what's called short-chain fatty acids. And there is one that's well known called butyrate and can reduce that inflammation I was talking about. When you're overweight, you tend to have a little more inflammation. But when they reduce it, this also can protect your colon cells and support a stronger gut lining just from all these good veggies, which I love. I used to hate broccoli because my mom would overcook it till it turned brown and smelly. And when I
I remember those days very clearly. My mother did the same
thing. And so when I went to college and started my first nutrition class, my nutrition instructor was fantastic. And she showed me how to cook broccoli. So it was bright green. You just put it in water and you keep the lid off. And oh my God, I loved it ever since.
Yeah.
And always will.
Big difference, right?
Yeah.
And I actually keep frozen broccoli all the time because I find I love fresh, but I don't always get it used up in time. But by having frozen, I will do things like cheese tortellini and then steam some broccoli, chop it up and put it in with the cheese tortellini. Or let's say we even get a frozen pizza. Like I know at Costco, there's this good one called Milton's. It's a cauliflower pizza. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but I will actually take it and chop some of the frozen broccoli just to add a little bit extra and put it on the top of that just to increase my veggies.
Or roasted broccoli for people that don't want it boiled.
Yes,
absolutely.
That's a nice way
roasted
too.
always brings out a nice flavor.
And nutty flavor,
Yes. So lentils, chickpeas, and other beans, whether they're red beans, black beans, pinto beans, those are some of my favorites. Beans and lentils are packed with a type of fiber called resistant starch. Since fiber can't be digested by our bodies, what it does is move through the small intestine into the large intestines. And that's where all the gut microbes are. And that's where they are going to start breaking down that resistant starch to feed off that fiber. And that allows beneficial bacteria, including bifidobacterium, to flourish. And let me back up for a minute because we hear those terms probiotics and prebiotics. So let me explain the difference. The probiotics are those friendly bacteria and microbes that are beneficial to our digestive systems and our bodies. But the prebiotics, including that resistant starch and other types of fiber, are the food that the healthy bacteria are going to feed on.
And I think it's easy to get those messed up, but you really want both, and they go hand in hand together. And I think that's one of the things to remember. One feeds on the other.
Yeah, literally. And you know, when I was growing up, my mom used to soak beans and we'd have those regularly. Well, who's got time for that? Often what I find the quickest way to an easy, nutritious meal is to open up a can of beans.
Yes.
So I just stock a variety of them. You could do them for taco night. If you want to do a grain bowl, if you want to do a satisfying side dish, it's quick. And lentils can be used some of the same ways, only they're really small. They're different types, and so they're a lot quicker to pull around to either a soup or maybe add some carrots and onions, and everything else can be right out of the pantry, like canned tomatoes, for instance.
Yeah.
Raw. Lots
And
of
I love a good black bean quesadilla, and that's something that you can put together very simply with a whole grain tortilla, some black beans, some avocados, pepper, onion.
Yum.
Really, it's like whatever you have left in the veggie drawer. It's a really good way to turn it into a black bean quesadilla. Ooh, I'm getting hungry. Is it lunch?
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I also love kefir, and I use that in my smoothies. So I'm happy to say that number 3 on our list today is kefir or yogurt with alive cultures. And again, going back to what Isabel just said, the way that they help is that kefir contains this live bacteria, the probiotic, that can temporarily boost your microbiome diversity, meaning there will be more different types of healthy microbes in your gut, and this will then improve digestion. So yogurt and kefir especially increase lactobacillus strains of good bacteria that are actually linked to a better gut and immune health. And we don't expect you to remember all these different ones, lactobacillus and bifidobacteria, bacteria and all these. But I think what's important to understand is there are many of these microbes that just by the food choices that you make, you can enhance this diversity in your own gut. Right, Gayle?
Oh, yeah. And being born in the summer, I love the berries, which is number 4, right? The blueberries, the raspberries, the strawberries. I love the fruits. I really, really do. And they are all rich in polyphenols, which are plant compounds. Again, another word, but a good one. that the gut microbes make into the anti-inflammatory compounds again. So it's awesome. Good tasting stuff can really help your gut. And I love in the summertime when we go out west to visit family, we go on these beautiful hikes through beautiful country and we pick huckleberries. Oh my God.
I've never had those. What do they taste like?
They taste a little bit like a blueberry. They're tinier. You have to work to pick them, and it's so much fun. And we do it, and we bring them back, and we made syrup this time with light amounts of honey or sugars, a little bit added, and just puree them up. And then you pour the syrup on everything from your smoothies and on your yogurts, and also on top of salmon or any kind of fish. It makes a wonderful sauce. Awesome.
It sounds really good because I'm big on smoothies, and I really like to take advantage of the berries when they're when they're in season and blend them into smoothies. And it's also because I use protein. I'm trying to get my protein in the morning, so I find that by doing a smoothie with protein powder and then bringing in the berries, it's kind of a great way to feed the gut microbiome at the same time that I'm getting my protein, right?
And frozen berries. I mean, frozen berries just make it so quick and easy. And then they add that extra thickness to your smoothie. But the huckleberry syrup would be really good on oats. So a couple of my favorites are oats and quinoa. Whole grains, they provide a fiber called beta-glucans that feed that good bacteria, like the bifidobacterium and the lactobacillus. That helps lower inflammation. And you can use quinoa for a delicious twist to like a grain bowl, stuffed burrito, maybe chili. And overnight oats are certainly having their heyday.
Yes, they are.
I'm just going to take some uncooked oats. I'm going to mix in some milk or yogurt, maybe some berries there too, or raisins. And then the next day, I've got them in the refrigerator overnight. I can grab that on my way to work for a grab-and-go breakfast.
I really like that. And the key, you keep hearing all of us say, is to stock your pantry and stock your freezer. Because when you have these frozen fruits and frozen veggies and whole grains like the oats or kefir, you're not going to go, what am I going to do? You're going to go, oh, I can do this because you have it ready. And the same thing with number 6, our almonds and walnuts. And really it could be almost any nuts because they're all really good for you. And seeds such as flax and chia too. And by having these ready to go, it's easy to put something together. And notice the fiber in all of these. The almonds, the walnuts, they provide fiber, power plant nutrients called polyphenols we just mentioned, and healthy fats that again promote that microbial diversity. So think about it. Walnuts, for example, are linked to more butyric acid producing bacteria, that butyrate that we already mentioned earlier, that powerhouse short chain fatty acid. That's bottom line. You don't have to remember its name. Just remember it's a powerhouse for your colon. So that's what matters when you eat it. So things like sprinkling nuts on your oatmeal, sprinkling nuts on your quinoa that Isabel was just talking about. You notice it's thinking about how many ways can you put these different things into your diet. So it doesn't have to be difficult. We want it to be simple. As we wrap up, what are your most important take-home messages for good gut health?
It boils down to a healthy diet. The types of food that we eat, the variety of food, being able to enjoy the deliciousness of all different 5 food groups and different foods within those really help give us strong gut health. And that produces millions, trillions of reasons to enjoy that healthy diet from healthy microbiome.
Yes, I love that. And also remember, our whole goal is healthy weight, healthy body, healthy life. And if you want to continue to have that healthy gut so that you stay healthy, you're going to have to eat those fruits and vegetables and nuts, those high fiber foods, delicious foods throughout the day. So have some at every meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner, in between snacks, and you'll see the difference.
Yep. Thank you both for coming on the podcast to talk about these smart foods to feed your gut microbiome. I so appreciate you and your time and your expertise.
Thanks, Susan. Thanks, Isabel.
Always fun to be with you.
All right. There are many, many healthy foods that improve gut health, as you just heard us talking about. And I'm sure we're all hungry for lunch now or whatever your next meal is. One of the things I'll say that kind of wraps this up easy, and you're seeing this a lot more in the media today, is to aim for 30 plus different plants weekly. Okay, so that's an easy concept just to keep in your mind, to aim for 30 plus plants weekly. So if you go back to things like the oatmeal and the berries, all the different berries, and the lentils and the beans and the broccoli and the asparagus, you can see that by mixing those up and adding those into your diet for the week, that you're heading towards that 30 plus of plants weekly. And when you do that, you are feeding your gut microbiome. Your gut microbes are your active partners in your health. Feed them wisely, and they'll reward you with better digestion, less inflammation, and potentially even easier weight management. So here's what I want you to do this week. If you're multitasking, come back to me. This list of 6 plus, many plus, easy foods to include in your meals. Go over them. Decide one by one. Okay, I can add this. I can add that. I've got some broccoli in the freezer. I've got some frozen berries. Make a decision to add some of these foods every week. Doesn't have to be difficult. Doesn't have to be all 30. Just keep in mind that idea of 30 plus plants a week, which gives you diversity. Challenge yourself to change it up a bit and vary what you typically eat over and over, because you are worth it.
Bariatric Surgery Success with dietitian Dr. Susan Mitchell is produced and owned by Practicalories, LLC. All rights reserved. Remember, the content provided on this podcast is for information purposes only and doesn't create a patient-provider relationship. It's intended to provide reference material and is not designed to provide medical advice. Please consult your healthcare provider regarding any medical issues you have relating to symptoms, conditions, diseases, diagnosis, treatments, and side effects. Podcast guests express their own opinions, experience, and conclusions which do not necessarily reflect or agree with the host, Dr. Susan Mitchell or Practicalories, LLC.